Wow, 1974.
1974. So the store was co-founded by Linda Bryant and Barbara Boardman. And when they started the store, they wanted sort of a cozy space that would have lots of beautiful and diverse children's books. And they also came from a liberation theology background. And so the store had a lot of spirituality titles and then eventually evolved into a feminist bookstore.
Yeah.
When they started the store, they didn't even know feminist bookstores existed. So that's sort of how the store evolved into, and then we are now pretty much one of the oldest still existing feminist bookstores in North America.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Rare Book Cafe, the Book Lovers Rendezvous. And how are you? How are you, Lee? My guest host, Linn, Ridge Books, Calhoun, Georgia. Hello.
Just fine today. And I think we have a really interesting program ahead of us.
Well, here we are in the middle of June, LGBTQ plus month.
Yes, and anything else you want to be proud of, I think, these days.
I think so, too.
And for a departure for us, we're not at an antiquarian bookstore, but at a new bookstore, which is the oldest feminist independent bookstore in the country.
Wait a minute. This is the oldest feminist bookstore in the country.
That's what
they where is it?
It's in Decatur, Georgia. And we're going to talk to Sara, one of the owners, and she's going to fill us in on the history of it. But first, we have our good friends from Toadlily Books, Libby, Ware, and Charlene Ball, who are going to lead us into the bookstore.
Is that it in the background?
Charlene?
What a cute little place.
Isn't that a neat-looking building?
Yeah.
Libby?
All right.
Yes, Lee said we are in Decatur, Georgia, outside of Charis Books, and my partner in Toadlily Books is standing by the steps.
And look at her cool t-shirt.
Do it.
See, that makes it official. The oldest feminist bookstore in America.
Right. We've got the pride flag flying outside. So we are going to come inside.
So a typical bookstore on the outside, a couple of steps up to the $1 cart.
Yes, we have some.
What a great place for a reading.
Some sales.
Lovely porch to have a book reading.
Oh, they have lots of book readings. They have a lot of activity going on at all times. So now I would like to introduce you to Sara Luce Look, one of the co-owners of the store.
Hi, Sara. I'm Lee, and this is my co-host, Ed, and we are just delighted that you were able to be with us today.
Well, welcome to Charis. Thank you so much.
Tell us a little bit about the history of the shop. If you're you couldn't be that old because you're not that old. But
I saw a picture on their website of Sara going back to 1994. So you've been there for at least 30 years.
I have been here for 30 years. I was actually our first intern. So that was in 1991. And I started coming to Charis in 1988 when I was in my first year of college at Emory. So,
oh, wow.
So, and that was at our first location, which was at 419 Moreland Avenue in Little Five Points. And then in 1994, the store moved across the street. We bought the building across the street on Euclid Avenue, and I always said I came with the building because I basically full-time at Charis in 1994 and then became a co-owner. So yeah, I've been here 30 years, but Charis was started in 1974 in the area of town known as Little Five Points in Atlanta, and now we're in Decatur, Georgia. We have moved over to Decatur by Agnes Scott College, and we are a loose partner with the college, and we do all their school swag, but we're still an independent feminist bookstore. We're also a hybrid, so we have a nonprofit, the Charis Circle, that does all of our programming and events.
And Charis Circle,
Now, I heard Libby say,
Charlene said we needed to be sure to ask you about. So let's hold that one.
Okay.
But wow, 1974.
1974. So the store was co-founded by Linda Bryan and Barbara Boardman. And when they started the store, they wanted sort of a cozy space that would have lots of beautiful and diverse children's books. And they also came from a liberation theology background. And so the store had a lot of spirituality titles, and then eventually evolved into a feminist bookstore.
Yeah.
When they started the store, they didn't even know feminist bookstores existed. So that's sort of how the store evolved into, and then we are now pretty much one of the oldest still existing feminist bookstores in North America.
Yeah.
now I noticed on your website you have something going on almost every single day, and some days you have 2 or 3 things going on. Do you ever feel like Sylvia Beach, like bringing all these people together?
Yeah, we do bring a lot of people together, and we have a very broad definition of feminism. We always tell people that we are really trying to welcome folks here and sort of move them along in their journeys. We had 3 programs last night, so I was like, we were triple booked last night. So we had an event at Auburn Avenue Research Library with Prentice Hemphill. We had an online event that was just online with a new novel, Housemates, and then we also had the Queer Romance Book Club also was meeting on Zoom. So those were all happening last night.
Well, give us a little tour of some of the sections of the shop and what you have. I know you have so much more than books. We were admiring Libby and Charlene's t-shirts earlier.
Yes.
And so tell us, and we know about the children's section, and we want to see that. So show us a few of the things that you have. And
Sure.
they're going to follow you with the camera.
All right, so I'm gonna go that way then, since you're talking about
Okay.
the books.
Yeah.
But you're walking into the store and you're gonna see what we always say are our sort of the newer books, and also our bestsellers and books that we're featuring. And often there are also event orders that are coming up. We also have a whole array of our staff picks up here that rotate. So this is just sort of new fiction and nonfiction mixture of hardback and paperback. We are all new books, so we don't have used books.
Sarah, give us a couple of names of authors that readers should be aware of in this genre nowadays. Just drop a couple names.
Drop a couple names. Bettina Love is local, and we love her. Her book is called Punished for Dreaming, which is over here. Trisha Hersey over here is also local. Her book is Rest is Resistance, and she has a new book coming out this fall that we're excited about. Perennially, even before she became New York Times famous, Bell Hooks over here has always been one of our bestsellers, and I was quite surprised when she actually got to the New York Times bestseller list and has stayed on there. But she used to come with every single book she published. Libby, I was just going to spin you around and show Bell Hooks on our wall over here, though, when she came, when she only had 2 books. So here's a very early picture.
Wow.
Of Billy Avery, who's the founder of the Black Women's Health Network. And then over here are some other pictures of Bell, too. Bell Hooks throughout the years.
Other local authors, or a local author who is a friend of Charis is Pearl Clegg.
Yep, yeah.
There's a picture of her on the wall.
Yep, she's right over here behind you, Libby. It's right here. And this picture to her left is our beloved Shay Youngblood, who
Oh, yeah.
passed away yesterday, actually.
She
He
did. I
did.
didn't. I
He
hadn't
did.
heard that.
So, she's the author of the Big Mama stories, and most
Yes, she
recently,
is.
she published 2 children's books. She also used to work at Charis before my time, but
Mhm.
but I have also known her for over 30 years.
I have to.
Yeah.
Oh, here's Stacey Abrams. Let me see if I can point up that way.
Yeah. Sorry, I got you 2 on wall of photos.
Yeah.
Can you get Stacy?
Yeah,
Can you see
Stacey
Stacey in there?
There.
Yeah.
Yes, as a Georgian, she is one of my heroes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's from Decatur, Georgia.
Yes.
So you want to take us,
All right, so how about to the children's section?
that sounds good.
Is she running this year? Is she on anybody's ballot?
No.
No.
She's going to do the Kid Note address at the Children's Book Festival. She has a new children's book coming out, so she will be at the Decatur Book Festival.
Yes.
October,
And that-
whatever that first Saturday.
Yeah. And that's a wonderful book fair that they have in Decatur. They've missed a couple of years, kind of reorganizing after the pandemic, but it's just a wonderful place where downtown Decatur turns into a book town.
And we really hate that the Georgia Antiquarian Booksellers are not part of it anymore.
Right. Yeah, we used to always have a fair.
It's great
Yep,
for us.
we were always right outside that door. That's where we sell books from.
Mhm.
This is
Yeah.
Shay's.
Yeah, that's
This
one of
is
Shay's
Shay's
books.
book.
That's
One of her books, The Big Mama Stories.
That's the reprint that she did. It was first published by Firebrand, but
Uh-huh.
that publisher's no longer around. But she reprinted it. And this is her newest beautiful children's book, A Family Prayer.
Shall I see that?
Well, Sarah, we understand that you have won an award for curating the children's book section.
Yeah, I'll show it to you.
Please do.
Oh, there it is.
This is the We Need Diverse Books Bookseller of the Year award. We were their first bookseller of the year, and they actually have not given the award since. So we have held on to this award. I think we might have to pass this actual physical award along to someone else. But
But
right
it's
now,
such a cool looking award. I wouldn't let go of
It
it.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
I really love
You
it.
could say the
Stanley
dog
Cup.
ate it or something.
We were so honored. So we are right here in front of all different kinds of books that are on display. We've got a lot of Pride books on display because it's Pride Month. In Atlanta, we get to celebrate Pride twice. So because we do Pride Month in June, and then we do it all over again in October when the actual Pride Festival is. And then right to your right, Libby, there's some more Pride books, and then we also have a Juneteenth display happening.
Yeah, I want to get some of the Juneteenth.
Yeah, so those are on the bottom 2 shelves over there.
One of our segments on Rare Book Cafe Coffee Break is with Gigi Best, who talks about Juneteenth. She has a bookstore in St. Augustine and has participated and has had many Juneteenth celebrations, and she'll be talking about that as well. So we were pleased to see that you had it as well.
That's wonderful. So I remember when there were literally, I think, 2 children's books about Juneteenth.
Wow.
They really exploded in the past couple of years, which is
Yeah.
great to have so many choices. We got Father's Day coming up, so we got some gay dads and some just general dad books. My Daddy is a Cowboy is a brand new beautiful picture book that we're excited about. And then we got It's Pride Baby, which is about 2 dads at Black Gay Pride.
Oh, okay.
Our children's section is pretty packed, and I would say dense. We wish we had more room for display, but we're always trying to get as many books and as many topics in as we can. One of the things we've always specialized in is what we used to call children's special issues, but is now called social and emotional learning, which we didn't even know existed, but that's always what we've done. Which means we have lots of books on all kinds of topics, which means there's books on divorce and death and loss and LGBTQ families and families of all kinds. We have lots of books on self-esteem and diversity, and books on, over here we got books on bodies and body image, lots of books on disability, books on consent, health and body development, lots and lots of books about children's feelings, of all kinds of feelings, and workbooks for kids. And then I also remember when there were no books on transgender issues for children, and now we have a whole shelf of trans books for kids. Over here. I jumped for you, Libby, sorry.
Yeah.
So we got family books, we got LGBTQ families, sorry, and then trans and gender identity books, and then also books for LGBTQ youth. There didn't used to just be picture books that weren't about families, but now there's books about all kinds of stuff for kids, which we are thrilled now exist.
We are all thrilled.
Yeah.
And then
And it's such an inviting space.
Thank you. We love our kids section.
We have talked at times about what makes a bookstore, what we like to see in a bookstore, and you have got it. You have got.
Do you ever face any
variety?
Do you ever face any censorship issues from the community?
No, I think we are lucky, both lucky and not so lucky, in that we are often a little secret that people don't know about. We've been here 50 years, but lots of people don't know that we exist. So our target audience is within our communities often. So it means we're not trying to drag story hours to a general audience. We're trying to do it within our own audience, for example. And we have several youth groups for queer and trans youth as well. That's another thing that the circle does. But again, this is mostly within our communities, and we're trying to reach the people that want to be here. So people often come in and say, "Well, where's your banned book section?" And we're like, a lot of those books that have been banned. There's kind of not a need for a banned book section. That's when we've always been emphasizing the books.
It's great that you're not just a retailer, but you're a real part of the community.
We try. Libby, I was going to show you that up above. I don't know if you can see it up there. It's one of the original signs from our children's section when we were on Moreland Avenue. So you could, in terms of the illustration style, I believe it's from the 70s. It's still here in our kids section.
Oh, but it's so nice that you still have it.
Yeah.
It is. Earlier, we were also looking at your display of pride flags. And I think, we didn't realize there were so many different ones. And I understand that one was designed by somebody local.
The trans flag.
Yeah, the Monica.
Yeah, Monica signed that, and she is local. Yes, I remember when the rainbow flags first became popular, and parents carried them, and they were 50 cents each as a sticker, and everyone put one on their car, and that is the trans flag, and right there that Monica Helms designed. We don't even have all the flags because there's so many choices now, and people keep coming up with new flags.
And so they have some candles here, and they've got an array of the different pride flags.
Yeah. There's a book about all the different kids' book about all the different pride flags right there.
I was actually in a pride parade in 2012, I believe it was. My son was living in Los Angeles, and we were driving. We were going out to Venice Beach, and we were going through Santa Monica after we left his apartment, and suddenly we're in this it was a Saturday. Suddenly we were in an area with a lot of folks wandering around the streets in costume, and it was just a celebratory mood, and it hadn't occurred to us what was going on. But we were able to drive about 3 blocks.
You wandered
in the parade. So I'm proud to claim that.
Great.
Okay. Any other section you want to show us, Sarah?
We wanted to ask you to tell us something about the Charis Circle and the events that take place as part of that group.
Yeah. So, Libby, I'm just going to guide you down here. This is some of our events here. Some of the books that are happening. So the Z Word is a virtual event that's happening tonight, and then We've got a trans poetry showcase coming up. And then over here this weekend, we've got Love Out Loud, which is happening this weekend. And then some books on bisexual men. And then another event down there with KB Brookins is coming up. We also have some book clubs that are going to be happening.
So if our viewers wanted to find out about all of these events, go to your website.
Yes, they should go to our website. So this is our upcoming flyer of all the stuff that's
Books
coming up.
and More.
Yep, Charis Books and More.
CharisBooksandMore.com
is our website, and then the Charis Circle is our nonprofit partner that does all of the programming. So they do all of the author events, but they also do all of our support groups, book clubs, and community programs. So we got lots of other stuff that is happening here all the time.
And people can
on
sign
your
up.
website that I thought was super is that the Charis Books and More. Is that you have a list of other feminist bookstores in every state, or not in every state, but you have a list of bookstores and what states they're located in.
We do. So we've been maintaining that list for a while. There used to be the Feminist Bookstore Network, which back when there were closer to 120 feminist bookstores in the US and Canada. And then for a while we were down to about 13. The list is actually harder to maintain now because there are lots more newer stores. So there's about 5 of us that I would say are like the old school feminist bookstores that were started in the 70s and still exist. And then now there's probably, like, with a broader definition of feminism, there's probably about 20 to 30 more, which is great.
Good for you.
That's great.
Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to add that if you go to the website, you can sign on to their email list, and you'll find out what's going on. And so many of them are virtual, or they're virtual and live. So anybody anywhere around the world can tune in and watch the programs.
They can, and then a lot of them are also recorded. And then we have a YouTube channel. So our YouTube channel gets lots of views all the time. We always say our programs have like a long tail, because you can, even though we just might have had a few people at some of those programs to begin with, but then those events get seen all over the world by folks.
And then we hope this event today will be seen on YouTube all over the world as well.
Great.
Right.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Well, I know that 2 authors that you have had signings for are right there in the room with you.
Yes. Libby and Charlene, and also known as Lily Charles. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I'm Charlene, and my first book, called Dark Lady, a novel of Emilia, Lanyer, I first had the book launch here, and they carried my book and promoted it wonderfully. Then Libby, Ware, my book-selling partner and wife, also published a book called Lum, and it also had a launch here, and she had a book signing, and then the 2 of us got together and began to write mystery novels under the name of Lily Charles. So our mystery novels are called bibliomysteries because they're about booksellers and books. Our first one was called Murder at the Estate Sale, and the second was called Murder at the Book Fair. Charis gave us book launches. They were so kind and supportive. During the pandemic, we had a book signing on the yard of Charis. On a Saturday, they were celebrating their own annual birthday. And we were out there signing books, and all these cars came by blowing their horns and people yelling out the windows. It was when Biden won Georgia.
It was a great day.
Yes.
It was that day outside. It was really great.
And Charlene, I understand that even before you and Libby were writing, you had been coming to Charis for a long time.
That's correct. I started coming here when I moved into the little 5 Points neighborhood. Well, not here, but the original Charis on Moreland Avenue. I would drop in and shop. I would go to the events. I would go to the author signings and saw many authors such as Dorothy Allison and Bell Hooks and Leslie Feinberg and Minnie Louise Pratt, whom we knew. Sadly, many of them are not here anymore. And so then when they moved across the street onto Euclid Avenue, I was there all the time, and so was Libby. And then they moved here to Charis, to Agnes Scott, to Decatur. And it's a little further to get to, but we still come frequently.
Yes.
Well, that's a couple of times now you've mentioned Agnes Scott College. What is the relationship between the bookstore and the college, Sara?
So in 2019, we moved here. So we've been here for about 5 years. And I think behind me, you can see some of the Agnes Scott merchandise. We began a partnership with Agnes Scott to sell what we call their school swag and there's like school supplies. We don't sell their textbooks. We don't want to be in the textbook business. We value books for what they are, and not just as something that you need and then might discard later, which is often how I think folks feel about textbooks, unfortunately. But they own this building and they let us use this building, and we have a relationship with them and at this moment that has been really wonderful, so that we can share this space and get to provide a service to the college as well.
You're so interconnected into the community. That's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, they're a historic trans-inclusive women's college. So they've been around a while, and they have a beautiful campus that is often, you might recognize because it is often used in films and TV shows.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Linn, you're always so knowledgeable. Do you have anything to share about the college?
Oh, you're talking to me?
Yeah, so you're always so
I'm sorry.
knowledgeable about things, Georgian.
Well, no, not really. It is a beautiful campus. As an Emory graduate myself, I knew a lot of people, who went to Agnes Scott and have been on campus a number of times, and it really is a beautiful and a great place, to go to school. Just a really fine place to go to school. So no, I don't have any insights into Agnes Scott.
And you can see what their logo is.
Yes,
The Scotty.
it's a Scotty. That's right. Well, this has just been a wonderful visit, Sara and Libby and Charlene. We thank you so much for inviting us in and sharing with us. Anything else, Ed, that you want to add?
Well, Charis Books and More. That's CHARIS booksandmore.com. Check them out. Find a feminist bookstore in a state, in a city near you. And as always, Libby and Charlene, we're glad to have you. And thanks for corralling more folks and bringing them in to share with our listeners and viewers on the Rare Book Cafe.
And I think you can order books. Can you order books by mail or online?
Yes.
Yes.
I know I have
Absolutely.
I have ordered Lily Charles from you, so I and tell us, what does the name mean? What does Charis mean?
Charis means grace or gift. When the store was started, it was considered a gift to the community. It's the same root as charisma, charismatic, and Eucharist even. So, so it's a Greek word meaning grace or gift and thankfulness.
Well, it certainly does seem to be a gift to the entire Atlanta community. And we wish you another 50 years.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, and thank you for letting us share our favorite bookstore with you.
You bet. And
Thank you very much.
all right, lady. All right, everybody, that's it. Another edition of the Rare Book Cafe, the Book Lovers Rendezvous. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and wherever good podcasts are given away for free. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Well, you might be on the lookout for visits to the Mark Twain House and the Harriet Beecher Stowe House, and to our program on Juneteenth as well.
Yeah, we got a lot of good episodes coming up, folks, so stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe.
Okay.
Bye-bye.